breaking news. The Louvre Museum in Paris, one of the most famous museums in the world, just got robbed in broad daylight by thieves using a basket lift. And what did they steal? 9 pieces from Napoleon's personal jewelry collection. Napoleon Bonaparte, the guy who's been dead for over 200 years, just got his stuff stolen again. Now, the director of the Louvre is calling this a terrible failure, and I'm sitting here thinking Napoleon would absolutely agree with that assessment, because this man has a long history of dealing with theft, betrayal, and people taking his stuff. So buckle up, because today we're diving into the historical irony of Napoleon getting robbed again. And trust me, the original thefts were way more dramatic than a basket lift. Okay, let's break down what just happened at the Louvre. Last weekend, thieves broke into the museum during the day, not at night with ninja skills and laser grids. Daytime, when people are literally walking around. They used a basket lift, those construction platform things, climbed up to a display case and grabbed 9 pieces from Napoleon and Empress Josephine's jewelry collection. Now, experts are saying the thieves might recut these gems, which would destroy their historical value but make them easier to sell. And I'm just imagining Napoleon's ghost somewhere watching this like, are you kidding me right now? I conquered most of Europe and I still can't keep my jewelry safe. But here's the thing. This isn't even the first time Napoleon's stuff got stolen. Not even close. Let me tell you about the original Napoleon heists. So, Napoleon Bonaparte ruled France from 1804 to 1814, and then briefly in 1815. During that time, this man accumulated wealth. We're talking crown jewels, art collections, gold, treasures from all over Europe. But you know what happens when you conquer half of Europe? People want their stuff back. When Napoleon was finally defeated in 1815 at Waterloo, the Allied forces literally walked into France and started taking back everything Napoleon had acquired during his conquests. The Prussians took art, the British took artifacts, the Austrians grabbed sculptures. It was like the world's most passive-aggressive garage sale, except nobody asked Napoleon if the prices were negotiable. But wait, it gets better. When Napoleon was exiled to the island of Elba in 1814, he actually got to keep some of his wealth. The treaty let him maintain his title as emperor of a tiny island. It's like going from owning a mansion to living in a studio apartment, but everyone still has to call you Your Majesty. So Napoleon's on Elba with some of his treasure, and he escapes, comes back to France, rules for 100 days, loses at Waterloo, and gets exiled again, this time to St. Helena, an island so remote that it makes Elba look like downtown Paris. And when they shipped him off to St. Helena, they took everything. His imperial regalia, his jewels, his fancy uniforms. The British were like, yeah, you're not getting robbed a second time on our watch. But the most wild part of Napoleon's jewelry story, the actual French crown jewels that Napoleon wore, they got stolen by the French government. I'm not even joking. After Napoleon's nephew, Napoleon III, lost power in 1870, the Third French Republic was like, you know what? These crown jewels represent monarchy, and we're not about that anymore. So in 1887, the French government decided to just sell the crown jewels at auction to whoever wanted them. Imagine working your whole life to become emperor, commissioning these incredible jewels, wearing them at your coronation, and then 80 years later, the government auctions them off like they're clearing out a storage unit. Some of the jewels ended up in museums, like the pieces that were just stolen from the Louvre, but a bunch of them just scattered to private collectors around the world. So Napoleon's jewelry got stolen by Allied forces in 1815, then whatever was left got sold by the French government in 1887, and now, in 2025, thieves with a basket lift took 9 more pieces. At this point, I think Napoleon's jewelry has been stolen more times than the Declaration of Independence in Nicolas Cage movies. Now, here's what makes this whole situation even more historically ironic. Napoleon actually had some thoughts about wealth and theft. When Napoleon was conquering Europe, he literally stole art and treasures from every country he invaded. The Louvre Museum, yes, the same one that just got robbed, was packed with stolen art that Napoleon brought back from Italy, Egypt, Austria, you name it. Napoleon called it liberating art for the French people. Everyone else called it, that's literally our stuff, give it back.
He took the horses of St. Mark's from Venice, priceless paintings from the Vatican, ancient Egyptian artifacts. The man was basically running a continent-wide heist operation and calling it cultural preservation. So when Napoleon finally lost at Waterloo and everyone came to take their stuff back, there was definitely some karmic justice happening. The Italians were like, "Oh, you liberated these paintings? Cool, cool. We're liberating them back." But here's the twist. Even though Napoleon stole all this stuff, he genuinely believed he was creating something important. He wanted the Louvre to be the greatest museum in the world, showcasing human achievement, which it is now. It's one of the most visited museums on the planet. It's just, mostly filled with stuff that France actually owns this time. The Louvre heist is wild, but it's not even the craziest museum robbery in history. Let me give you some context. In 1911, someone stole the Mona Lisa from the Louvre. It was missing for 2 years. The thief was an Italian handyman who literally just took it off the wall and walked out. Security back then was basically, "Please don't steal anything, thank you." There were no alarms, no cameras, nothing. Just vibes and trust. In 1990, thieves dressed as police officers stole $500 million worth of art from the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston. Still haven't found it. So when you think about it, the Louvre thieves using a basket lift in 2025 is actually kind of creative. At least they brought equipment. So what's the lesson here? Napoleon spent his entire life conquering, collecting, and curating treasures. He stole from others, others stole from him, his own government eventually sold his stuff, and now, 200 years after his death, thieves are still stealing his jewelry. It's like the universe looked at Napoleon's legacy and said, you know what would be funny if his stuff never stayed in one place, ever? The Louvre director called this heist a terrible failure. And honestly, Napoleon's entire relationship with possessions was kind of a terrible failure. The man couldn't keep anything. His empire, lost it. His jewelry, stolen multiple times. His wife Josephine, they divorced. His final resting place, they moved his body multiple times. The man could not catch a break, even in death. So the next time you're worried about losing your stuff, just remember, at least you're not Napoleon Bonaparte, whose jewelry is still getting stolen 2 centuries after he died. I'm your host from Historic Laws, reminding you that history doesn't just repeat itself, sometimes it straight up robs itself. If you enjoyed this dive into Napoleon's very bad luck with personal property, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment telling me what historical heist I should cover next, and hey, if you're planning to steal from a museum, maybe don't. Just a thought. Thanks for watching. And remember, you can conquer Europe, but you can't conquer thieves with basket lifts.